Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Tampa Honda, and I have that one long-standing compact car that really put Honda on the map when they first came to the United States. It's this vehicle right here. This is a Honda Civic 2023. This particular one is a sport touring trim, and it's a Civic hatch. But before we get into this rally red multi-use compact hatchback, let's talk about what's going on here. Cars have been getting redesigned, and a lot of them are been getting redesigned, but they're also been getting some major changes underneath the hood. What's nice about the Honda Civic, a lot of it remains the same, but you are getting a lot of exterior and interior changes. Now, of course, there's competition, and one of its main competitors is going to be that Toyota Corolla hatch. And what's interesting is that for 2023, Toyota has bumped up horsepower across their base engine. No longer do you get the 1.6 liter with 137 horsepower. You now have the 2 liter with 169 horsepower. That's going to be the main competitor to this Honda Civic hatchback. But what I want to find out is this the best new hatchback to buy? Comparing it to the Toyota Corolla, let's go ahead, let's dive into this bright red Civic hatch and find out. Right off the bat, this generation really has come into its own. I feel like when they went with the redesign, a lot of people weren't on board, but now after they've seen what they did to the Accord, they're like, wow, the Civic actually looks really, really good. At the front of the business, you see that cleaner style compared to the previous generation. LED headlights, love the way they blacked out the whole interior there. LED daytime running lamp and turn signal. We even have LED fog lamps because this is the sport touring trim. I don't mind the flat black. Let me know if you rather have gloss black in the comment section, but me personally, I'm fine with the flat black. We come across that low slung nose. You got the iconic Honda badge, functional grille up top and down below. And it's interesting because they did make it look a little bit, especially this area, a little bit like a Toyota Corolla, but you do have more functionality. And like I said, I think with the flat black and the bright red, it matches really nicely. Now, when we get up onto the hood, you'll notice that curve to the front fascia into the hood. Very clean design, doesn't need to be over the top. Digging what they did there. Now, when we come around the bend, one of my favorite parts about this Civic hatch sport touring is going to be the wheels. Absolutely love this dark aluminum finish that they got on the V-spoke wheel. The rest of it is gloss black. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? 18-inch wheel, 235 on the width, 40 series sidewall. Of course, this is front-wheel drive. Honda Civic hatchback is front-wheel drive as well. And with this being a sport touring, you are getting a little bit larger brake rotor. They did retune the suspension to give a little bit sportier feedback and feel. And I'll show you that when we go on the drive, but nicely done on the fender opening. And then when we come down the side, you're gonna get color matched on the mirror caps. Super slim, you almost can't even tell they're there. Turn signals. I like the way it's got that flat black side skirt extension on the lower sill. You do get a standard size sunroof, which is nice, but I am gonna have to zonk. Besides the sunroof, I'm not gonna zonk that. I wish it was panoramic. Let me know if you think it should be panoramic down in the comment section. I am gonna zonk the bright shiny metalwork. If this is a sport, I know technically it's a sport touring, but if that was black, it would look so much cleaner. Coming towards the rear, I love the way they did the hatchback design. It really doesn't look like a hatch. It looks more like a sportback, and I'm really digging that. Corolla has the more traditional hatch. Well, you could clearly tell it's a hatchback. Swinging around back, same story as the front. They really nailed the style. I know Steven is not a big fan when they run the tail light across because this is your third brake light. I don't mind it. Let me know in the comment section. Are you Team Steven or are you Team Joe in that comment section? They're still using old-fashioned light bulbs for the turn signals and for the backup light. So that definitely is a zonk, but we do have the LED lighting. There's our sport touring badge, the Civic badge, and then of course going all the way down to ground level, you got dual exhaust. So one exhaust on each side, that stainless steel trim ring with the exhaust back there, both functional. And I like the way they did this lower bumper area to make it look like a rear diffuser off of a race car. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk horsepower compared to the Corolla with this new Civic. Guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. not zonking it. Corolla has a prop rod as well. Underneath that hood is a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. So you actually have a little bit smaller displacement than the Corolla hatchback, because that has a 2 liter. This has a 1.5 liter, but guess what? We have more horsepower. 180 horsepower, 177 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a CVT transmission. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what about 0 to 60? 0 to 60 in about 7.4 seconds. Top speed is governed to 126 miles per hour. Fuel economy, here's where you're gonna be the real winner. 31 in the city, 38 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs right around 3,200 pounds. So you're getting that great fuel economy. You're getting more horsepower. Both of them have CVTs, so that's the way it is when you're looking at the power. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire this up and see it move. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 Honda Civic Sport Touring Hatchback. It's interesting how not only are there not a lot of sedans compact size available anymore, but definitely not a lot of hatchbacks. There's really only 3 that I could think of off the top of my head: Civic, Corolla, and Mazda 3 hatch. Now, I know you're saying, well, Joe, I've always gone with Honda. That's always been the answer for me. I'm really liking the cleaner style of this generation compared to the previous generation. How much is this? So this particular Sport Touring hatchback has an MSRP of $31,345. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. I like the nice modern style. Soft touch material throughout the whole door panel. A little bit of gloss black, but you really shouldn't be touching that. There's nothing there to touch on it. Some silver for the door handle. I like the anti-fingerprint material around the switchgear. So much better than gloss black or just regular flat black. The door armrest is nice and soft. Door pocket is a little tight, so maybe I would say 2 tacos from Chipotle, and you could go ahead and get some guac, even though guac costs extra, and a nice bottle of root beer to wash it down. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, this was the car that started it all. It's got that honeycomb wire mesh finish, hides the AC vents, some gloss black, but like I said, there's nothing to touch here, so you don't have to worry about fingerprints. You're gonna get that 9-inch infotainment system with navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, throw it in reverse. Backup camera is definitely on the small side, so I would like to see that be a little bit larger, but you do have trajectory, and you could adjust the camera angle very easily, and you got your sensory protection all 360 around the car. The vehicle has 3 stages of heated seats. You got your dual climate control with those really nice fancy knobs. You got your recirculation button, 2 USB-A's, a 12 volt, and you have your wireless charging. More that, look at it, does not show fingerprints. I absolutely love that. This is going to control your CVT. You do have different drive modes, which I'll show you that on the business side. 2 cup holders. Your standard Honda key fob, the new one looks great. You do have remote start. Soft on the armrest, open it up. You got a nice little tray here for some Aladdin's Castle game tokens when you're gonna go to the arcade. And then you got enough room in there, I would say, for 7 My Little Ponies, even with their little brushes. I know Lori used to collect those as a kid. She's so sad she got rid of them because she saw one sell at a Sotheby's auction for $1 million. So I don't know what was up with that one, but somebody definitely wanted it very badly. Seats, nice soft leather material. The stitching is great. Power adjustments for the passenger and power adjustments for the driver because we are in the Sport Touring. Standard size sunroof, and I like the way they blacked out the whole headliner. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you a digital gauge cluster behind this Honda steering wheel in the Civic. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have, because this is the Sport Touring, aluminum brake pedal, throttle, but they don't give you an aluminum dead pedal like they do in the Accord Sport. That to me is a zonk. You do have your seat controls, easy to get to, no memory settings on the seats. Just something you should know about. Seats are comfy. You got the Bose surround sound system. This is the first generation that Bose was ever in a Honda Civic. And then you have the nice leather wrap steering wheel. Honda does such a great job on their wheels. Flat black on all the buttons. You do have paddles that go through simulated gears with the CVT transmission. And you do have that 10.25-inch gauge cluster with the different drive modes, Econ, Normal, and Sport, depending on whatever your mood is. Other than that, nicely laid out front part of the interior. Let's get to the back seat and see if your passengers are gonna be happy you went Civic over Accord. All right guys, back seat time. And even though this is a compact car, you are getting more room than a Corolla, and you're definitely getting more room than a Mazda 3. Backs of the seats, the leather, no pocket behind the driver. I'm okay with that, I guess, because we do have two USB-As. The one zonk is, where's my AC vents? So that's a problem. That should be here in a Sport Touring. I have my own pocket here to where easily I could get 4 personal pan pizzas from Pizza Hut. Get some extra pepperoni in there, maybe a Supreme. Maybe I'll just live life dangerously and get a Supreme. Lots of headroom. I'm 6 feet tall and it feels spacious back here. Seats are comfy, and you do get a super soft, look at this, man, jeez Louise. Super soft center armrest with 2 cup holders. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the cargo area, because I think your SUV may not have as much room as this Civic hatchback does. Let's go check it out. All right guys, time to get in the hatchback, and this is really where it blows the Corolla right out of the water. You're gonna have 25 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Obviously the seats fold down, 60-40 split. I love how low the cargo floor is in here, and it's just such a versatile vehicle. But you know what? It's not just about what we could haul, it's also about how does it feel when we're hauling. Let's go ahead, let's go on throttle in this Civic hatch and find out. All right guys, we left Tampa Honda. We're in this Honda Civic Sport Touring hatchback. We're gonna go ahead and put it, like I said, into sport mode. That's gonna adjust how the engine, the transmission, and the steering and throttle response all come together. What's nice is that I love how spacious the interior is. Visibility is fantastic, much better than the Toyota Corolla or definitely the Mazda 3. And getting to that 9-inch infotainment system screen, it's well within reach. You got the dual climate control, you got the 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster, and you got all that great cargo space down there. Going down the road, it really is super comfy, even though this is the Sport Touring. Don't think that it's gonna shake your inner organs or anything like that. But what the Sport brings is just a quicker steering feel and some better braking, which is really nice. That ain't gonna hurt you, that's for sure. If you wanna shift manually, you could do that with the simulated gears. So right now I'm in second. On throttle, here we go. And then you just hit the paddles and you can shift to the next simulated gear. So that makes it a little bit more engaging, especially if you're on a nice twisty road somewhere and just want to have that little bit more driving engagement. But you got your full set of Honda sensing technology in here. And of course, you could scroll through different information within the tachometer, which is really nice as well. Very easy to do that right with the thumb wheel on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. So I really like the way that works. I don't know if you heard the horn. I beeped the horn. Somebody wanted to know what the horn sounds like. So there's the horn. And the instrumentation is very clear, very easy to read from a very quick glance. When it comes to the infotainment system, it's so easy to move the icons. So you could easily switch icons and where you want to put them. If you want the more important things, let's say you use navigation a lot, you want to have that a little closer, you could have it right there. Let's say you want your Sirius XM right by your navigation, and you have it right there. So easy to move those things around, and then you just hit done, and then it saves it. But you have all your apps that you're familiar with this Honda Civic Sport Touring, and just the feel of the steering wheel, they really put some nice effort and dedication to that, and I appreciate it. Pulling away, all right guys, pulling away from this light. like I said, you know, the drivability of this car around town is really nice. And Honda does have one of the better CVTs. Still not my favorite transmission, but definitely one of the better CVTs that's available. It's just that if you go Mazda 3, you're going to get a 6-speed automatic. If you go Toyota Corolla, that comes with their hybrid CVT, where they actually have a gear for first gear, and then the rest is the CVT system. So, you know, something to think about. But like I said, Honda, I think, did a great job with making the CVT feel not so much like a CVT. And you do get better fuel economy from a CVT transmission than you do from a traditional torque converter transmission. So that's another thing to think about, is that fuel economy, which this Civic is phenomenal when it comes to fuel economy. It's not even a hybrid. Driving around town, it's easy to squeeze it in tight places because of the overall size of the vehicle, and just the way the seats are. They're super comfortable. Getting to everything is well within reach. You got your wireless charging, you got all your connectivity. I guess the people that are hurting the most are in the back seat because they don't have rear AC vents, but having the dual climate up front and having that nice quality feel from all the switch gear is a real welcome pleasure in this Civic. But what I want to do is I kind of want to showcase how this thing handles in the twisty bits, and I want to use the paddles a little bit more. So I'm downshifting with the paddle through the simulated gears, and I'm actually going to come to a stop here, and then we're going to go on throttle through some twisty bits. Nobody's behind us, which is good news. Coming to a stop, downshifting. So remember, front wheel drive, on throttle, here we go. All the way out, on the brakes. The handling is where it's at in this thing. I love the turn in, the balance, the precision. And this isn't a Civic Si, it's not a Type R, obviously, but you're still getting that same great overall feel. Now, off the line, it is sluggish, no doubt about it. But the good news is that it does get the power to the ground very well. Because remember, this is a naturally aspirated 1.5 liter. This is not the turbocharged 1.5 liter, naturally aspirated. Another good part of the puzzle is that the 4-cylinder is not too buzzy, which is nice. Even though 4 cylinders do have a little bit extra noise usually coming from them, this one does sound actually pretty good. Let me drop it down into simulated first gear. On throttle, here we go. On the brakes. See, this is where it puts a smile on your face. I just love the way these Civics handle. Really well done, especially compared to the Corolla. You know, the Mazda 3 is going to be the kind of in-between, especially since the Mazda 3, they switched to that torsion beam rear end rather than the independent multi-link suspension. So this really has become that driver engagement type of compact car. And you're still getting all the great usability. And if you want more performance, you could go with a sedan and get an SI, or if you want the top, you could go Civic Type R and you could have a hatchback with freaking 315 horsepower. But the wonderful thing is, no matter how you're driving this vehicle, whether it's daily commute or you're able to go through some twisty bits or you're on the highway, it's a very versatile car, and it really provides just so much in the way of fuel efficiency, fun driving, technology, and comfort. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of the Honda Civic Sport Touring. We're gonna get back to Tampa Honda and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another hot and sweaty day out here at Tampa Honda. Definitely want to thank Sam and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 2023 Honda Civic Sport Touring Hatchback. Let me know what you think. Are you going Civic? Are you going Corolla? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rise family. Of course, we need to give it up. Stephen Flood Photography. Follow him on Instagram. He's going for extra likes and followers on his Instagram channel, so check him out. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.